So many times I've had agents come up to me and ask, how did you do, 88 transactions in 2021 and 2020, and where 75% of them were buyers? We all know that market was extremely competitive, and it all started back with proper expectations in the buyer consultation from the moment I started working with the clients. This video is all about that breakdown to ensure that I put the right pieces in place to make my job helping them find the best home at the best price on their preferred timeline is correctly laid out so that the job is easy. And when they find that right home, I can help them make the winning offer without a lot of resistance. Run through is just my formula of how I set up buyer consultations and how I get them from initial meeting to sign buyer representation with the alignment that allows me to go out and make my offers and get them accepted during the competitive market. So,
Why would I leave?
well, yeah, I don't know why I
That
said
was
that.
an epic title, bro.
Ew, talio, that's a hook.
I'm
If you want to leave, go ahead, but you're
gonna
going to
go
be
on
losing out on
mute.
lots of money. If you don't like money, leave now. All right. So first and foremost, and this is the formula, whether it's buyers or sellers as a general overview. But the first thing is any type of conversation, whether it's a buyer consultation or a seller consultation, whether it's a referral, internet lead, social lead, sphere of influence, conversation at a cocktail party, the formula is the same. In the initial conversation, I'm looking to identify what they're looking for, meaning, are you looking to buy? Are you looking to sell? What do you want out of a real estate agent? What are the things that are important to you? What are you scared about? When's your timeline? I use the magic wand question a lot. Hey, if you had a magic wand and waved it all around and poof, everything went perfectly, what would that look like? I want to find out all that stuff in the initial conversation. And the closing conversation to get them into appointment is always just simply a reflection of, hey, if I could show you how to find the best property, if I could show you how to find off-market deals, if I could show you how to have an agent that negotiates and know that you have the best representation possible, and you could get the best home at the best price on your preferred timeline, and I could show you how to get the best interest rates, is that something that would be of value to you? Or is that something you'd be interested in? And you frame their information that you got from your layering questions into a question that equals, yes, I will meet with you. And they'll say, yes, that would be of value. Yes, I'd be interested. Fantastic. Do you prefer to have those types of conversations on weekends, or would you prefer after work or before work? What works best for you? Well, I'd really like my husband, my fiance, my wife involved, and we typically would like to do this on a great. Would you like to do this on a Saturday or Sunday, early in the morning, in the mid afternoon, or the evening? Right. And I continue to refine it and get them into that space. I'd like to do that in the morning. Fantastic. Would 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. work? And I give them options. It's an options close. Would 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. work? Well, I'd have to talk to my significant other. I can't talk to you just yet. Fantastic. What's your typical Saturday morning look like? Well, we wake up, we do our stuff. Gotcha. And so would it be reasonable of us to assume that, knowing that this is going to help you get a better interest rate, knowing that you guys are talking about real estate and want to get the best home, I'd imagine you both want the best home, you don't want to overpay, knowing that you both have questions that you're seeking information online, would it be reasonable for me to assume that he's in alignment or she's in alignment with the need for information from an expert? Yes. Why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and set a tentative appointment. You go talk to them. I'm going to send you an email with some bullet points of what we're going to cover. So that way you don't got to sell what the meeting is. Because if you go to them and say, hey, I talked to this random salesperson, he may not want to talk, but let me talk to you about the value props. I'll email you. What's your email address? We'll send a tentative date for that time. And I'll follow up with you tomorrow to ensure that time works. If we need to adjust it 30 minutes, we can do so. And we'll have a cup of coffee. We'll have a beer. We'll have a vodka, whatever you guys want to do. We'll make it a casual conversation that's strictly educational, and we'll ensure that you get the information you need to help you plan this all out. How does that sound? That sounds great. Phenomenal. Let me get your contact information. I'll send you an email. When I get into the buyer consultation, okay, the first few minutes is building rapport. I just want to build some rapport. Hey, how was it? How was the drive? What do you like about coffee? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I like to congratulate them during that time. Hey, congratulations on taking steps to building wealth. Home ownership is one of the most amazing things on the planet. It is the number one way that people build wealth in America. There's so many benefits to it. We'll get to that in a moment, but I just want to say congratulations. It's an exciting time. You guys nervous? Yeah, we're a little nervous. Great. I use my turbulence analogy. Hey, if you get nervous about flying, after you do it a lot, you realize that turbulence is just a part of the process. You're not going to die. And 99.99999% of the time, you land there and safe, and you got better chances of getting hit by lightning 3 times than dying in a plane crash. Okay. Real estate is a lot like that turbulence. There's going to be some times where it's iffy and it's questionable and you're nervous and you're anxious. You should be. It's a big purchase. I'd be nervous if you weren't anxious. I'm like the flight attendant that's done this 1,000 times. I'm going to tell you when to worry, when not to worry. And most importantly, we're going to lay out a plan that is smooth, it's stress-free as much as possible. And we're going to make sure you get the best home at the best price with the timeline that you prefer. Okay. Let me tell you a few things. Now, next bullet point. Let me tell you a few things about me and my company, so you know you're working with an expert and the information is reliable. I give them my hey, mine looks like this. My name is Josh Pono. I've been in real estate for almost 14 years. I own an office. I have 11 agents that are in my office. I'm a nationwide trainer. The number one thing I'm training on right now is working with buyers in this market and making sure they have the best experience. So when I talk to you about the market, I'm doing it every single day. This is my full-time gig. I'm 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, depending on the workload. And I can make sure that I handle all of your questions from an unbiased perspective. Do you have any questions about me? Now, yours might be like, hey, I'm Nathan Barkley. I work at a real estate office where we focus and specialize on training and ensuring that we're delivering phenomenal customer service. 80% of my business is buyers. I've successfully navigated this very competitive market. I've built out my entire business to deliver great customer service. I'm a student of the game. I have mentors that sell hundreds or thousands of homes. I network with all the best escrow, title, insurance, lenders to give you a full perspective. And most importantly, I have an average of 4.9 star review or whatever it is. And people really love my service. Okay. Do you have any questions about me or how I help clients get phenomenal results? No, I do not. Great. Let's talk about the market, because in order to know where we're going, we have to know where we've been so that you can build the best plan. And there's a lot of clickbait out there right now. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of scary. You click on this story, and then here's the crazy part about the internet. The more you click on this subject or that subject, the more you get. It's like positivity or negativity. The more positive you are, the more positive stuff you get. The more negative. If you think the market's about to explode and why it's the best time to invest, and you click on a story like that, it's going to keep sending you. What I'm going to talk to you about is the hyper-local information from the MLS, specifically about what's going on. I don't know if Timbuktu is going to crash. I don't know if Ethiopia is blowing up. What I can tell you about is my local market. We'll start with, and go back to like 2007 or 8. It all start. If we go back to the most recent news of the most crazy stuff, it's the crash. And the crash happened here, here, and here. Otter AI just said, "You get no more." Let me load that back up. I might have hit my limit. Any questions so far? Always cap off these little segments, by the way. Right? You'll notice I do this with agents as well. Like, we as agents have a habit to give people information and expect them to understand it the same exact way that we do. Okay, so at the end of each segment, do you have any questions about me and why my representation is going to deliver you exactly what you want out of a real estate agent? No, I don't. No questions. Phenomenal. Have I said anything that you want some clarity on? No. All right, great. Let's move on to the next topic, which is the market. If we go back to 2008, man, we had some funny business in Wall Street. The banks collapsed. Everybody was going crazy. We lost 40% of value. You highlight the market talk and you frame out the history so that it gives you credibility, right? Because all of a sudden, if I've only been in real estate a year or 2 years, but I can eloquently speak about the last 15, they just magically assume that I know what I'm talking about. And I go through this and I have fun with it. I'll say, and we lost 50%, and man, when it crashed, it really crashed. And everybody was losing their mind. They were panicking. And here's what happened next. I get to the pandemic. Hey, listen, in 2020, everybody was scared. Half the people were nervous. They wouldn't let anybody in their home. Half the people were like, I don't care. I'm going to keep going. This is all fake news. And what happened is demand skyrocketed because everybody wanted a bigger house. Their kids were learning from home. They were not allowed to go places. They were getting all stir crazy, and interest rates were phenomenally cheap. And because half the people were scared, inventory plummeted. So you got extremely low supply. You got a massive demand. You got super affordability. Houses were cheaper by 15, 20%, even though they hadn't dropped in price. The market took off. And then everybody started making a massive amount of money. So at the water cooler or at the coffee maker at work every single day, people that bought 3 months ago were bragging about how they were $100,000 richer and they hadn't done anything but buy. So everybody was getting FOMO. Fast forward to 2022, interest rates. We've all decided this is it's no longer a pandemic. It's an endemic. We're going to deal with it. And now it's starting to normalize. And so interest rates got to go up. The party has to change the music. And everybody sees that music's about to change and everything's going, so they all rush in. Then we hit some inflation issues. Prices start coming down because buyers start to get scared. They start to hold back, and that brings us to about here. Now, with all this bank stuff going on, we have banks going out and we have them collapsing due to the rising interest rates. The feds are coming in and saying, don't worry, we'll take care of it. We'll do this, this, and that. So they're going to print some more money. When they print some more money, inflation becomes another challenge. We've still got super low inventory because every single seller that has a 2.875% interest rate, they're not selling right now. For example, I own a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square foot home. I pay 2.875% interest rate. I want to get a 4th bedroom for my 2 boys who share a room right now. They're about 2 to 3 years away from needing one. It would literally double my mortgage payment to go get a little bit extra of a house. I'm not doing it. So we've got an inventory issue. And now we've got interest rates that are choppy right now, but allegedly coming down pretty soon. And so all the buyers want to lock in a discounted price, and then they'll refinance later because people like Dave Ramsey, who is one of the world's most prestigious financial advisors to financial intelligence, is putting out social content that says, buy the house, refinance later. So we have these messages from these gurus saying that housing prices are going to go up. And now, by the way, if your message is different in your market, change it and lay out where you're at. Do you have any questions about the market? Again, you cap off that segment. Do you have any questions about the market? Great. Now let's talk about your goals. How long are you going to be in the house? Why do you want to buy? What's important to you about that? How does that make you feel? What happens if you don't buy? Side note, do you know how powerful it is as a real estate agent to be like, why not just stay? You are not, the same way you're not going to convince a buyer who's not ready to buy right now, you are not going to or convince somebody out of buying by being like, why not just stay? Man, that seems like a lot of work for you guys. Why not just stay? But it's so powerful as the person that if you stay, I get nothing. It's so powerful to say that. The same way when we're showing a property and they're like, I really like this property. Like, yeah, you sure? I mean, what about that? Well, I don't really care about that. Think about it this way. How many people have been in horrible relationships with horrible people and their friends are like, get out, get out, get out. And they're like, it's not that bad. He's nice. You're not going to convince them to not buy. And so, I ask them, wow, that's really incredible. Have you thought about not buying? Because there are some risks associated with buying. It is a challenge right now. You got to be mentally tough. We're ready to buy. Great. I want to have that conversation. I want to give them an out because I don't want to go show them 25 properties and have them be scared and insecure the whole way around. I want to test them on both sides because the goal is to get them ready to buy and get them in the right mindset. The goal isn't to hope and pray and push them through and then everything falls out and I don't get paid and I get fired because the client blames me for their own actions. And ultimately, I am responsible because I'm the expert. I'm the professional. If they're not doing what I ask them to do, it's because they don't trust me and they haven't been educated. And ultimately, it's my fault anyway. Okay, so then once I talk to them about their goals, their dreams and whatnot, I say, well, now that I fully understand what you want, your insecurities, your fears, your pressures, etc., now that I fully understand what you want, I can see why you want to buy. And I can see why it makes a ton of sense. Sounds good, babe. Now, here's what you're going to face. Here's what a winning offer looks like. In order to make sure that do you have any questions about whether or not you should buy? Do you feel more confident or less confident about buying now that we've gone over the market, we've gone over your goals and why it makes sense for you right now? No, great. The next part of the process is that we want to make sure that you understand what a winning offer looks like, and we want to get you in a position there. So let me educate you about the process, our contingencies. Let me show you about why, even if you get an offer accepted, there's ways to back out. Let me talk to you about how we're going to protect your earnest money deposit. They don't want to lose money. They don't want to buy a house that they don't want. They don't want to overpay. So I talk about all the things in the process that ensure that when they work with me, you're never going to lose your earnest money deposit. You're never going to buy a house you don't want. You're never going to overpay, and you're never going to regret the decision. You have any questions about that? Great. The next step is let's get you to the lender to have our full underwriting process, because you need to be able to compete with cash buyers. And the way you do that is do your paperwork before you go and make offers so that you can remove the loan contingency. You've got your full approval, and then I can go leverage your offer as if it was cash. And if I can compete with cash people, that means you get a better price. And by the way, you're not doing any more work. You're just doing it ahead of time to make yourself look smarter and more prepared, which is a good thing for us because the paperwork is the same. You're either going to do it in escrow or you're going to do it before escrow. Now, the good thing is if you do it before escrow, you don't got to stress out about 5 timelines. In fact, it'll lead to you having a more smooth experience, because right now, all you got to do is worry about paperwork. If you wait till you're in escrow, you got to worry about paperwork. You got to worry about inspections. You got to worry about disclosures. You got to worry about reports. You got to worry about, is this the right property? You got to worry about monthly payment. You got to worry about, am I doing this too fast? Am I doing this too slow? I got to worry about my EMD. Let's do the right thing. Let's get you connected to the preferred lender. Do you have a lender that you love, trust, and respect, that you are knowing for a fact you're guaranteed to get the best rate? Gotcha. Let me introduce you to my person. And by the way, not only do they get you a great rate, they also help me with the offer process. So when I send out the offer, they call the listing agent, they sell you on why you're awesome. We've got the full approval. We look like the dynamic team, because in order for you to get the best price, 100% of the time, in order for you to get the best price every single time, the listing agent and the seller need to be convinced that 1, you have a phenomenal agent, check. 2, you're a smart, savvy buyer, as evidenced by you've got a full underwriting approval, almost check. And your lender is awesome and aggressive on your behalf to make sure that the whole side of the transaction is, my preferred lender will make sure that's done. So now you got the dynamic trio. You're educated because we slow down. I make sure that everything's in order. The lender's all in order. We're all working together as a team, which will give you the absolute best and only way to get a deal. You need the team, not just a couple pieces. You have any questions about that? Great. You get them over the lender. The way you get them over the lender is you introduce them right there via text. Hey, Mr. Lender, Mrs. Lender, this is so-and-so. Phenomenal people. They're in the research process. They are getting ready to buy a home. Okay, I don't say they want to buy a home. I say they're getting ready to buy a home. They're in the process. They want to work on their full loan approval so they can get the best deal. Please reach out to them immediately and give them the information they need and help educate them on the finance side. Hey, so-and-so, this is the lender. They're going to help you get the best interest rate. They're going to make sure you get your full loan approval so you can compete with cash and not have to overpay for the property. Please connect with them as soon as possible, as we discussed in our meeting. Congratulations. You both just met a cool person. The lender then reaches out to you. Hey, the application's out. The application's done. You call the client. Hey, I just want to make sure the meeting went well. Get the application completed. Once you get the application completed, we'll do a 15-minute meeting talking about the property. Now that we know what you qualify for, what your monthly payments for, about what the interest rate will be, then we'll have a 15-minute meeting. We'll set up all the listings from the MLS. We'll go out and show you all the property. And once we go out and show you all the property, you've then worked with me at no cost. By the way, you never pay any commission on what I do. You've seen me in action. You've seen me educate. You've seen me through many, many conversations. You'll know whether or not I'm the perfect agent for you. If at that time you say, you know what, Josh, you've been incredible. You're awesome. Thanks for showing us these homes. Thanks for working for us before we even committed to you. At that point, I'll give you the buyer representation agreement that says, Josh, it's official. You're hired. We love you. You guys have any questions about the process? No? Awesome. Let me get you connected to the lender, and then we'll go out and show the property. And then at the end of those showings, when I'm done showing the property, do you want to make any offers on any property? No. Great. Do you guys feel comfortable to keep working with me? Yes. Great. I'm going to send you the paperwork and we're going to keep looking at the listings. Now, all we got to do is look at the new listings that come up and we'll get you the best home at the best price. By following that process, you're going to have a much stronger business when it comes to securing the clients, getting them in the right position so that when you finally call the listing agent and say, I'm going to make an order, you can confidently say, and by the way, you can use this as leverage to get your offer accepted. Let me tell you why I didn't just take this buyer and, ooh, I got a buyer and I'm going to go show property. Let me walk you through my process. And the best agents in the country follow a process almost identical. So then it builds rapport with them going, less emotional buyer. Less good lender, good agent. Cool. Those check our boxes off. We're good to go.